Takeoff. The home point has been updated. Please check it on the map.
Hey guys, welcome to Rolling Homestead, and today we're going to be doing our collab video with Mallory from Quebec Homestead. Mavi, what are you doing here? I gotta shoot a video, go play. What do you mean? You want to shoot the video? Hey guys, welcome to Rolling Homestead, and today we're going to be doing a collab video on good, the bad, and the ugly of our gardens. Asked by Mallory from Quebec Homestead to be a part of this, and I want to thank everybody that has been a part of this and thank her for choosing me. So if you guys have not checked out any of these other channels, I will have a link to everybody that has been a part of this whole collab. So today we're going to be talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly of our gardens. And right now I'm at the first garden, and this is called Garden of Eden, believe it or not. Not Garden of Eden, Garden of Eating. And a lot of this is about with wildflowers, because we're trying to promote the bees to come and pollinate. So we have a lot of our flowers and stuff like that that's around us. And we have our main guard dog watching the gate. Right. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through here and I'm gonna show you some of the things that we have. All right guys, so this is the first part, and these are our tomatoes, and we kind of do things a little bit differently. They're in a box. I do have the black mats down, and then we're doing the one stem and then the pruning. This guy's gotten out of control because he's got a main here at the time. He's gonna have to be tied up here pretty quick. But there are some drawbacks to this. The tomatoes are really nice. The bad is I started to get end rot. So as you can see down there, I got one thing about having chickens is you got oyster shells here on the homestead. So I mixed that with some of the other minerals that I had so that I could put it by the plants. Obviously this is not going to break it down as fast as I need it, but it will help put the calcium back into the soil. For quick fixes, but it's going to be on a more expensive side, would obviously just go get some milk and dump some milk in there. But right now there's just azomite and oyster shells in there now. So these two arches, how we have this set up is they all have the tomatoes, and we're doing exactly the same thing, and they're actually kind of low this year because in the other garden, which you see, they're up to the whites on the post already. So the garden boxes are kind of hard because they take more watering. Obviously you can see they're heat exhausted already, and the amounts of rain that we have here now, they're nice and moist, but you know, they dry out really quick. So that's one of the bad things about garden boxes versus the ground, is that they dry out fast. And then on each side here, we've got some pole beans and some basil along the tomato plants. And basil isn't actually a bug deterrent, so it helps the plant there. That's like companion planting that you'd want to do. So we've got two of those. Then over here on this one, So here we have the basil, we have kale, and then we have the arugula that we've been snipping from here. And then in the back here, we've got some beets and some more basil. So let me bring you in here and we'll go to the next set of plants. So here, guys, we have our green beans, and these are all going to be pole beans. And I use the rattlesnake pole beans, which are kind of neat because they've got some purple in with the green bean. Kind of looks cool, and it's easy to spot when they're on the vine because they like to grow up. But this year we tried a little bit different. We got some black-eyed beans from MiAnU Garden, and for some reason they didn't really like our weather or our climate or what it was. But you can see there's one here versus the rattlesnakes because I can tell by the darker vine on here. So we do have a few of them, but not like I planted, because I planted this whole thing through. But what I like to do is you just take them here and you wind them up on a cattle panel like so, and they will find their own way to the top. What's nice about this is when you get older, you don't want to be bending down picking beans. So the cattle panels and the arches are a wonderful way of doing things. And then we have some freebies of peppers here that were left over, so we just needed a place to go with them. So we got a few here, and this is a freebie tomato plant here. And here's the problem that happened is that our green beans and these two racks, something happened where they didn't come up, so they were replanted twice. So now they're just starting to come up, and I'll show you the difference between these and on the other side. Like over here, these decided to come up and they're already getting nice and tall. They got flowers on them, and we'll be expecting, there's actually little beans on them already. But these we had to replant, so that was kind of a, Coda, you eating grass? And then over here, I'll take you over here to this part. So this is an example of a square planting, and these are all of our onions, or some of our onions that we have this year. These happen to be all of the yellows, and then this guy here is all lemon balm. And here's our garlic, and this stuff is we got to trim these up because here are the pibs. So here's the seeds for the garlic right now, and so this is our garlic patch. And it's kind of funny is because I thought I was going to have to get some different garlic because it wasn't coming up properly. It was stunted. I thought I used it up already. And what I like to do is I'll save the best clove and I'll replant that. So I thought my seed stock was going bad and I was going to have to get something else. But then the humidity and the rains came and it shot right up. But we got some freebies in here too, is because mixed with that is cilantro, and here are all the seeds for that. So we're gonna have a bunch of that. And then over here is some more cilantro. So here we have a bed that's just got ran over by weeds, and but there's onions in here. There is cilantro, and what happens when the cilantro goes to seed is you get coriander. So we're saving that. But I just saw right here too, here's some wood sorrel, or woodsman treat. Really good. So now, this is a portion of the garden. So now we're gonna go to the big one and we'll see what we got in there. So this right here is horseradish. And this whole thing is horseradish, and this is now 3 years old. And it is, we actually did a little sampler. It's delicious. So I'm going to be mixing the good with the bad and the ugly kind of thing as we go through, because each section has some of the good, bad, and ugly in it, and I'll talk about that. So this here is our mixtures of all our different peppers. And the good news is they're plentiful and they're big. I mean, they're really nice sized peppers. The bad is that the tarp, as you can see, this one here has caused the plants to shallow root because of the moisture being in there, and they're not in the ground, and that's why you see these strings all over the place, because our plants are now falling over because of the winds that we have here. They're just not deep enough, and they just get knocked over because of their height. So that's the bad about the tarping here. I didn't plant them deep enough at the time, so their root base is really shallow, and obviously it's really nice and moist underneath this tarp, so the roots didn't go down, and now we have plants that are falling over. And actually we got one here that is now, the leaves have completely died off, and we just got the peppers hanging, so we're probably gonna have to come back and cut that one off. But I got another one there that has to get tied up. All right guys, so as you can see, we got to tie these up because they're just wanting to fall over, and that's a huge problem. The stalks are really nice, but the root base isn't where it needs to be, and that's the issue. So they have lots and lots of fruit on there, nice big peppers, and I gotta have them all tied up because I don't, because of the winds and stuff around here, they're just gonna topple over. So that's what this is all about. So this here is our cayenne pepper plant, and like I said, I was out here this morning and tying some of these up, and now I gotta do it again because the winds are just getting nasty. So this is a cayenne pepper plant here, and before he gets wrecked, we're gonna tie him up. Maybe, since I got such extra string, I can get his cohort right next to him. Kill two birds with one stone. Yeah, I don't know what else to do now at this point. I'm just trying to save them. They got way too big, and with that, I think with the roots being so shallow, because now that the moisture is right on top, there's no need for them to go down deep. It's a last ditch effort to try to save it. So this right now is the starter stage for a market style garden bed right here. I put in compost, put in the dirt, and now I just got it covered up with the plastic. What I'm hoping is that this fall I can throw some of leafy greens in here when it cools off, and that would be a good start to that, but we'll see how the bed looks. Over here we got marigolds, and underneath here is some sage. So in here you can see there's some beautiful sage in there, so that's ready to harvest, and we can start drying that out. And the marigolds are right here. And this is what I was talking about, the other style of our tomatoes. If you look at the size and how nice they're grouping together, and they've got some nice big tomatoes on them already. Here's another nice group of tomatoes. Like I said, they're over the top of the whites on these poles. And over here we have some more nice big tomatoes, and they got some really nice grouping going on here, which is what I'm looking for. So as we go through here, I have Tom Lincoln's, I have some Amish paste, and I have another one, but Moneymakers is the other tomato that I'm using. Like these here are the Amish paste, nice big, but they're not tall. Here's another really good grouping of tomatoes. So here's another nice grouping of tomatoes. And these plants do look a lot. They're dark green. Obviously here's some more of the Amish paste. They're darker green than our other ones are. They seem like they're a lot happier out in the ground on these tomatoes. Now, that's the good. The bad is the fact is when you put stuff in like this, it's very difficult to move and rotate like you should. So what we're finding out is that we're having a calcium deficiency in the tomato area, because obviously they've been here now for 2 years, and so us this winter is gonna, one of the big things that we got to look for is try to get the calcium and minerals back in here, because I really don't want to tear this all apart and move them down. What I could do is take them where we have the beans and bring the beans up here. We might want to try that depending on how this year goes and how end rot looks and stuff like that. Right now we're doing really well. Besides there isn't too much in here, but I also have them set up the same way. I've got azomite down, and I've used oyster shells to help to try to get that calcium in the ground. Here you got another nice set of grouping here, and I do the same thing. So I got I tried to get the one stem out, and I use that one stem to go all the way up. I got to get in here and trim some branches off, because I don't want them on the ground. I like them open underneath there so they can breathe, and I try to prune them out so that it's not, I'm growing vegetables, not foliage. So there's a really a happy mix to that, because if you take too much of the foliage off, then you're getting that more of a acidy, bittery taste instead of that nice tomato. So it's a horse apiece. But here's a perfect example, and a good one. The one stem going all the way up like it's supposed to, and then the plant's still flowering. So when they get up to here or so, we'll cut the head off, and then we just want it to concentrate on fruiting and growing our produce. One of the things that we're doing is here is the rattlesnake green beans, and as you can see the difference between these guys compared to what I showed you in the other one. These guys are already twisting themselves up, but what's nice about this is we'll take this guy here and we'll wrap them around like so, kind of teach them what we want them to do. Same thing over here. But these are already flowering really nice. They're starting to fill in really nice. I don't like to see this though. Already getting leaves that are dying off. It's way too early for that. So if you guys know why that's happening, let me know. Weird. But it's got nice flowers on there. You can see the little beans are coming already. So probably in 2 or 3 weeks we'll have hopefully our first picking of beans. And this is what I'm talking about, guys, is it's so important for you to grow your own foods because of what we live in now. We might not have the food on the table that we need. And if you guys haven't, go watch my video of the storm damage. There's a lot more information in there, and some tips of why we want to grow our own food. So these are, again, too, guys, is our rattlesnakes. And why I got this set up like this is I can pick like this. I don't have to be on the ground. And as you get older, that's a huge plus, because I don't like to bend down. It's hard for me being so tall. And then over to the next batch over here, this is all of our, they call them fancies cucumbers. They're going to be longer, they're burpless, they're seedless. Really good for making your dill pickles, your slices and stuff like that, and they're a really good cucumber to eat fresh. But we also, here's another bad point, that we had a hard time this year getting them to grow. And cucumbers are natural climbers, so going on the cattle panels like this, you just take this and you let him, he'll naturally grab a hold and he will pull himself up on the cattle panel, and they'll actually hang there, which makes it so that critters don't get your fruit and it's easier for you to pick. As you can see, we got some nice ones already starting here. So this is our cucumber rack. We don't have a whole lot this year. We have more beans than we do cucumbers. So now we're going to go over to the cabbage patch and the zucchini. We got some really nice cabbage patch heads that are coming in. These are our 2 zucchini plants that we originally planted, and then we had some freebies here and over here that Hunter decided to plant for us. We have been harvesting zucchini. We got some that are coming in there right now. There's one here, and then we have our red cabbage, and these are our monster heads behind here of cabbage. And then also we have some freebie tomato plants that were nowhere to go, so we had a hole because the bugs decided to attack our cabbage plants and just literally chewed up them next to nothing. So they had a rough start. The cabbage had a really rough start, and the bugs are just eating the leaves off of them, so we actually had to break down and use some 7, and after that it seemed like now they're getting a lot better. I mean, they're still kind of holy. Obviously, you look, there's no head here, very small head started against this one that's already established, so there's a big difference between them, which is all right, because what I'm going to do is this year we're going to freeze all the red cabbage, and then we're going to make sauerkraut out of the bigger heads, obviously. This is a market style that has just been overrun, so what I'm going to do as soon as the carrots, I have beets, and down in a row in the front there was supposed to be kale, but it just got overrun with weeds and everything is intertwined because we threw it up right away, and I only put a tarp on it for 30 days and brought it back off and put the stuff in. Wasn't enough to kill the weeds in there, and they just flourished. So this is the ugly side of things. So we got radishes here that I planted in here also. So they're starting to come. And down here on the end, I have, this is mustard greens planted here. And then on top of it is purslane. And purslane is a very good edible, good for salads and stuff like that. That's why I said a lot of stuff that you guys think as weeds, they're not exactly weeds here for us. But mustard is another good one and good health benefits. Our beets are coming in nicely. Another good thing is you get the tops and then you get the beets. Over here, I tried to mat because obviously you've seen the weeds for the red onions here, and I'm just letting us see how this happens and how it works out. They're already trying to go to seed and there's hardly any of an onion there at all. So over here we have our onions that were lost from the weeds last year that decided to come up, and now they're flowering. So we'll have our own seeds to plant and start our own onions. So that's why we're just letting them do their thing so I can get the seeds from them. So that is what's going on in my garden. Now, we got a guy here that ain't supposed to be here. We're gonna put him in here. So according to the rule set is I have to pick 2 people on the collab to do a collab with us. So the first one obviously is going to be brother Chris, which is from single Dad Homestead. I nominated him. Chris, let's see what you have in your garden. And then I wrote Kettle Farms. It's a smaller channel, guys, so it'd be really nice for them to get some view time and stuff like that. So Kettle Farms. Let's see what the good, the bad, and the ugly is in your garden and how things are going. I know Chris is having a hard time, but he had a surprise for everybody. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this, and you guys all take care, be safe out there. If you have a spot that you can grow your own foods, it's well worth it. Guys, take care, God bless, and I'll see you on the next one.